to BLOCKTV and you're watching Top 5. Now, with Congress being put on the spot following all the Libra buzz, it's no wonder that the Senate is looking to people who specialize in the relevant fields to give them the blockchain and cryptocurrency answers that they obviously don't have. Which is why the Senate Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committees held a hearing entitled Examining Regulatory Frameworks for Digital Currencies and Blockchain on July 30th. Those testifying included Jeremy Allaire, the CEO of Circle, Dr. Rebecca Nelson, specialist in international trade and finance with the Congressional Research Service, and Professor Mirza Baradaran, professor of law at UC Irvine. Without further ado, let's get into the top 5 best moments from the Senate hearing.
The breakthrough here is that we have a public, secure, tamper-proof infrastructure that's evolving and emerging for record-keeping and processing of data that is more resilient and ultimately more private than some of the infrastructures that we have today. And that can be applied in many industries in many significant ways. A lot of the innovations that are happening with these digital assets that are built on blockchains may have some fundamental utility within an industry, a business, a product, a service. But that digital asset also may be associated with some financial characteristic. And the coupling of the utility and financial characteristics is part of what makes these innovative. And it's the definitions there that I think really need to be more clearly defined in the United States in particular, in order for businesses who want to build on this to be able to innovate and issue new types of digital tokens that can be applied very, very broadly in many, many industries.
Kicking off our list is the number 5 top moment of the hearing is when Jeremy Allaire explained blockchain in a nutshell. Although the senators tried to understand, it was pretty clear that they were struggling with the details.
If there aren't really new products, why would we need new rules and new regulations?
I mean, I think it's important to have clarity. It's very important for people to understand what it is. I don't think we have to reinvent the wheel on any of this stuff. I think we have clarity in each of the jurisdictions. So to the extent a digital asset hits the currency model or the securities model, we've already sort of debated those models and we can enforce those rules.
That brings us into the number 4 best moment on our list, which is when Professor Baradaran explained the need for clarity and definitions on regulation that affects cryptocurrencies. This lack of clear definitions was mentioned multiple times throughout the hearing, the single point of agreement from those testifying that come with different points of view completely.
Countries that are trying to build themselves as cryptocurrency hubs are really trying to adopt clear regulations at the outset on how cryptocurrencies are going to operate. This is to give regulatory certainty to consumers and businesses who want to use cryptocurrency regulations. That said, some of their regulations have been described as more favorable to cryptocurrency industries. So for example, in Switzerland, they have regulations for money laundering addressing cryptocurrency. They have provided guidance on how ICOs should be treated as in regards to securities regulations. They provide guidance on what kind of licenses cryptocurrency industries need to operate within Switzerland. So it's not that these countries are trying to shirk regulations. They're trying to provide certainty while also balancing innovation to encourage the adoption of cryptocurrency.
The number 3 best moment from the Senate hearing was Dr. Nelson describing what a country that's looking to be a hub for crypto and blockchain businesses is doing. To the senator's surprise, the answer was not under regulation, but rather clearer regulation. Go figure.
First of all, these technologies develop over time. In 1998, while the internet existed, but no one had broadband access. The internet, personal computers were relatively new in terms of their adoption. Should we not have focused on innovating and building the cloud infrastructure, higher speed internet connections, come up with policies that encourage broadband adoption? Should we not have made those investments and policy choices?
No, but let me, so since you're asking a question, let me answer the question. The important thing here is to understand what this tech does and what it doesn't do. Because if we're going to establish a regulatory framework for this tech, we need to not be so triumphant about all the problems that it's going to solve, but we also have to be clear-eyed about the problems it may create, but also the potential for it. And so when tech executives and their funders talk as though all of societal ills will be solved by a new code, you will forgive us if we're a little bit skeptical about all of that. I don't doubt the potential for this tech. I just don't think it's actually going to bank low-income communities, and I don't think you've persuaded anybody here that it's going to do so.
The number 2 moment on our list is Senator Brian Schatz ripping into tech companies that are seeking to wave their magic wands, as he put it, and fix a lot of these problems. Some Libra shade over there. Although he's still not convinced that this is true, he does think that in a decade or two, blockchain will be the way, which is a small step in the right direction.
Help me understand, if a digital currency is to become global, like Libra seeks to do, how does it do that? How does it get global acceptance if it faces 190 different countries with different jurisdictional issues and different regulatory systems? And maybe another way to ask my question is, if the United States were to decide, and I'm not saying that it should, but if the United States were to decide we didn't want cryptocurrency to happen in the United States and tried to ban it, I'm pretty confident we couldn't succeed in doing that because this is a global innovation. But how would a company that wants to create a cryptocurrency that has global reach get into the United States, or how would that impact the United States? You see the question I'm asking?
I'm happy to take part of that, Senator. I think the challenge that we all face with this is, some of these cryptocurrencies they're literally just a piece of open source software. There's nothing else. It exists on the internet. It's open source software. Anyone can implement it. It runs anywhere the internet runs.
Last on our list is the number 1 best moment of the Senate hearing comes from Senator Crapo, who pretty much called cryptocurrencies unstoppable. The guy genuinely seems to want to understand this stuff completely. Key takeaways from the hearing are that regulators definitely need more education on matters related to blockchain and more specifically cryptocurrencies. There needs to be more regulatory clarity for the space in order for the US to be a hub for crypto-related business, and that we need to be prepared for the future because these innovations are unstoppable, and BLOCKTV will be there to cover it all. Bye for now.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.